Whoa, hello.
Whoa. Alright, that's perfect.
Is that good? Microphone's on. We always look better. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. Sorry, we're just kind of trying to get everything done. What's up from Houston? Florida, UM, what's going on? Evening from Northern Indiana. Hi, guys. Hi, David. What's up, William? Hey, from Trinidad. Checking in from Massachusetts. Northern Maine. Happy Monday, Bruce.
Happy Monday.
Not going to start off the day with that question. What can you do to a 2008 Volvo C70? Get a new car.
Oof.
No, I mean, honestly, it's like Volvo is kind of like, yeah, it's tough. I don't really have anything. However, check metroonline.com because they do have some new Volvo stuff that they've introduced in the last couple years. So if anybody's going to have anything, I would definitely try that.
Yeah.
You could also try auto leads out of Europe. That might be something. Dean, did you get the wireless charger for those Astrolights? I did, and it worked great. We ended up getting... Where is the new lights?
It's over there.
What kind of lights are those?
Astrolights.
Oh, yeah, we did get the wireless charger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at Sue. Oh, my God, what happened to your face?
We fight. We fight sometimes.
No, grab it. Let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll get it out of the way. How are things hanging? Kind of limping to the left. New York in the house. Tips for eliminating engine noise from a system. You know, if you really want to know the tips for eliminating engine noise from a system, go back to Instagram and watch Saturday's show. It's either Friday or Saturday's show. Towards the end, we covered that in depth. Yeah, anyways. Or if you go and watch today's recap, 5 Minutes with 5-Star recap show, fast forward towards the end of each day, we cover that we went real deep on that. So we'll just, so the rest of us don't have to deal with that. So we got a new toy, or tool, depending on how you want to look at it. With all the road trips we have coming up and all the events, Fernando thought it'd be really cool if we could get some footage, you know, some standard style YouTube footage up in the air. So we went and bought a drone. This is the DJI Mini 2. And today, the third time I've flown it, we were in here, of course, and I'm not real familiar with how it works yet. Needless to say, yeah,
what you guys fighting?
I ate the drone, so it hit me in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun. But I'm real excited because we have a lot of plans for making cool footage with this on the up-and-coming trips. So for those of you that don't know what is coming up, really quick, we have Knowledge Fest, which of course is happening very soon. It's short distance away. It is going to be happening the 26th, 27th, and 28th. I'm sorry, 27th, 28th, 29th. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, the 27th at 7 p.m. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 Central. We'll be doing a live from Electromedia. Now, if you guys don't know who Electromedia is, that is because it is Audison and Hertz. So we will have them, well, actually, they'll have us in their booth. We'll be live doing a YouTube show. So that is going to be pretty fun. We'll have Christopher McNulty from Electromedia on to talk to us about all kinds of fun products. And of course, I mentioned to him, hey, we've had a lot of questions about Milli Pros and Milli Legends. What is the difference? Why should I upgrade? As well as the subwoofer. So I've given him those talking points. So hopefully he'll do a really good job at helping us with those. But that'll be the 27th. Pretty excited about that. But before all of that happens, I know, but wait, there's more. This weekend, the 21st, Mr. Seth Hostetter will be here from Kenwood, or JVC Kenwood Corp. We'll just call it Kenwood. He'll be here live in the studio. Mr. Fernando is going to be gone with his beautiful wife. You're going to the football game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to watch
Titans.
Tennessee Titans play against the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
In a preseason game, so pretty excited about that.
Yeah, she doesn't know, but
Okay, unless she's watching tonight, so I've totally ruined it.
Now she knows.
Yeah, so my bad. But anyways, that's what we got going on. And then, of course, the weekend after Knowledge Fest, which is Labor Day or Memorial, I think it's Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend. We're taking Road Trip 2021. We're headed to Stillwater, Oklahoma to return the Kicker truck. We have a Kicker truck. We don't. Our rep here, John, has the Kicker truck. It's sitting in his driveway for a year, and we volunteered to drive it back home. So we're really excited to be doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, John. Yeah. Thanks,
That's
Jason.
awesome. That
Thanks.
was awesome.
We will be driving it back, and that was why he wanted the drone. He wants to get that cool, like, you know, drone footage of the truck and all that other fun stuff. So just basically to make cooler videos. That's really what it is. And hey, you know,
it's everything for you guys.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take a drone to the face for the team.
There you go.
So anyways, that's how I started my Monday morning. It freaked him out more because he's not a big fan of blood. So he's like, "Oh my God, you're bleeding!" I'm like,
"Dude, that was right in my face, right here, like closer, like literally." And I'm watching the screen, and
we were both watching the screen. That was the problem. But yeah, dude, it's been a while. I'm old, you know.
Hey, Eric.
So
and they like, oh, but I got the drone, so I'm like, safe. Don't worry.
Anyways, Road Trip 2021 is going to be Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Follow that up with Tuesday. I'll be guest hosting on Kickers Unmasked. If you guys have never watched Unmasked, tomorrow night there'll be one, and they do them every Tuesday night. I think it's 7:30 Eastern or 7:30 Central Time. I don't know. You don't worry, you don't have to be on time. They do like 20 minutes of crap at the beginning that's utterly a waste of time. But.
And also for the Electromedia, we're gonna pop in Instagram to let you know that we're gonna be live.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So you guys don't miss that one.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And then Saturday, of course, I don't like. I was looking the other way. Literally, it was over here and it went whoosh, instead of because I meant to go this way and it went this way. So, hey,
left and right.
It happens.
Up and down.
You know what? That's what Band-Aids are for. Anyways.
You're gonna get ice cream with sprinkles tonight.
Saturday the 28th. We'll also be doing a broadcast from the MEA live on YouTube and their Facebook channel. But we're gonna simulcast it, so we're gonna put our phone into theirs, so we'll be able to, so you guys will be able to catch that too. But we'll have more of that information hopefully this weekend, so we can get. I want to put a whole schedule together for you guys, because I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. Needless to say, just follow us everywhere and you'll be all set. But with that being said, let's shoot over and get the other fun things out of the way before we burn up too much time here, because we have a ton of questions I know we want to get to. We have a nice fundamentals tonight. So the Facebook group, 12-Volt Clean Wear Club. If you notice this week, we didn't put up a picture. Sorry, this was in commemoration of losing a dear friend of ours, friend of the show, personal friend of ours. I mean, anyways, we lost our good friend Mark this weekend, and so this is just a nod to that. So thank you so much. There's a couple of you that are like, what the heck? And it's like,
yeah, like nothing happened with Maestro. Everything is fine. It's just our
we lost a good friend, and
in the industry, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So very, very sad, but that's what we did. Anyways, moving forward, we do have a fundamentals coming up at 20
minutes.
So I'm sure one of you guys would be nice enough to let me know. But in the meantime, let's get to it.
All right.
Here we go. Dean, please call me. Left number with Paul twice. Jason, I'm sorry. I was going to make some calls on Saturday, and I just was not in the mood to talk to people. Sorry. But I will get back with everyone that's waiting later this week. Marty, what's up? It's Canadian
Marty?
Marty's in the house.
Oh, hey, what's up, buddy?
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Hello, Victor.
Hey, Vic.
How was your guys' weekend?
Day off.
It was a day off, man. And it was just
hey,
sitting
Eduardo.
at home.
I just want to say thank you, brother, for the cigar.
Oh,
I appreciate it.
that's
That's
the guy.
Eduardo. Yes. Thank you,
What's
bro.
up from Pensacola?
Yeah.
I have a JL 2021. How can I get a remote for the amps? What do you need a remote for the amps for? It uses DC offset, meaning it has a 6-volt DC carrier wave that comes off of it. So, if you don't know what DC offset is. It's something we've talked about before when talking about remote turn-on. You can head over to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips and look for the video where we talk about remote turn-on. In lieu of doing that, depending on what kind of amplifier you have, you want to check and see if it has signal sense on. That signal sense on is going to, when you tap a speaker, look for the 6-volt carrier wave and turn the amplifier on and turn the amplifier off for you. Now, if your amplifier for some reason doesn't have that, depending on the high level to low level adapter you use, it will. So for example, if you pick up an audio control LC1i, LC2i Pro, LC2i, if you're into Amp Global, they make the LP7 II. They all have DC offset built into them that works great. If you're looking for something that is different than that, like you've already installed it, you could also pick up an amp. PAC makes a thing called an Ignition 3. Ignition 3 is a voltage sensing device. What it does is it looks for, and there again we have a video on that too if you type in like Ignition 3. Ignition 3 hooks up to power ground, and when it sees the alternator, the current change from resting current to moving current, it turns on. It has a delay built into it so that it's this guy right here. It's called the Latching Phantom Ignition Module, Ignition 3. What it's designed to do, as I said, is it will see the current change when the car starts up, and then if for some reason like you have stop start or anything like that, it doesn't matter because it has a timer built into it. So once it sees that change, you have a choice. You can cut a loop, and it's either like 30 seconds or 2 minutes, and so it'll keep your amplifier on. The only caveat to that piece is that your amplifier has to, or your car has to be running in order for it to work. If you're like, oh, or there's another piece called a TR4, which will also do the DC offset. So that's how you do it. Don't go looking for an ignition wire. It's not the smartest thing to do anymore. You don't need it. It's not going to help you. Okay.
All right. Can you do a lesson on polyfill? It is worth it. Where does work best? Where it doesn't?
You know, the next time we have Jeff on, I know he's touched on that before. When we had him on, we've talked about the polyfill thing, but you know, I'm not a box guy. I don't build boxes. I haven't built them in a long time. He has his idea for polyfill. Marty apparently also, Mr. Marty Dean, has his opinion on polyfill as well. So we'll get some of the guys on. We'll talk about polyfill and see what we can come up with. Are you planning on tapping my wife's passport? Taping my... I don't know, Victor. Come on. Have Jeff on. I'll send more cookies. Yeah, so that he won't share them with us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's just off. It's just going to do its thing. Swapping out my starter battery for a pair of Kinetic 2400s. Going to use one for start and the other as second battery. Amp before amps. In your opinion, do I need to isolate or just fuse? I guess the question is this: if it's a newer car and you're going to be hiring a mechanic to work on your car, it's not a bad idea, especially with an amplifier, a battery that big. If the battery ever needs to be disconnected for whatever reason, really the only reason why you need an isolator is to protect that terminal from that front terminal when the unsuspecting goofballs like taking this off and he just sets it over here and it attaches to the side of the car and it goes and then pow and it blows the fuse.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and he's like, what happened? And now you got to go buy a new fuse, as we know fuses aren't cheap. So really, that's the only advantage of having that switching relay is for safety, so to speak. Especially with something as big as a 2400. You know, when you're looking at like a little tiny guy, I wouldn't lose any sleep over those because you know those take cheap fuses. But when your fuses, you're on and off switch, might be good to throw the relay in. Just a thought.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Follow your videos for a 2004 Avalanche with Bose system. Use an aftermarket single DIN and an RP4 GM11. But sound is mostly all high pitch, tweeter, and sub. Can nearly hear the mids. What can cause this?
Oh, an Avalanche? Have you checked to see if your speakers work? Have you checked to see if the high-pass crossover's on the radio? That's about it. If it's an Avalanche and it has... So we have to find out. Is it an Avalanche with Bose?
Yeah, it is.
All right, so the Bose amplifier, we need to find out if all the speakers are working, first off. We also have to understand that the Bose only uses the front input from the radio. Even though you hook up front and rear, it is only using front input. So whatever is passing over channels 1 and 2, or the gray and white, is all that feeds that amplifier. If you accidentally turn on the high-pass crossover, well, then that would screw things up. But the question would be, how did it sound before you replace the radio? Because it should sound identical to that. That's it. It really should. But a lot of the times what happens to those is the mid-bass blows. And unless you've put in aftermarket speakers, you know. Personally, I would put in aftermarket speakers and bypass the factory amplifier. That would be the simplest solution. But, you know, obviously I'm not hearing it. But there's where you're going to look. Just put your ears to the door and see what's happening. Also make sure the high-pass crossover is off. And make sure you don't have anything wired out of polarity. Make sure you don't have any like positive negatives wrong. So check that too, because if you have the driver's door and the passenger door backwards, you're going to get cancellation through the whole system, and then you're not going to have any mid-bass either. What components are 2 ohm besides Focal? Blam would be the first thing that pops in my head, as well as JBL. And most of them aren't 2 ohm now. They're like 3.4 ohm, because 2 is just kind of too harsh. So all new speakers. So then there again, if you put all new speakers in it and you didn't bypass the factory amplifier, that could be causing you issues too, because there could be something wrong with the factory amplifier in those. They bury those things in the center console, and I haven't found one that isn't covered in coffee yet. Audio Frog makes it 2 ohm. Thank you, Oscar.
Audio Frog, there you go. Yeah.
Is there a way to make your stock stereo sound louder without replacing it? I'll be coming to you guys in the next couple weeks because my front speakers are blown out, but I didn't know if I had to replace my stereo as well. Well, to make your stock stereo sound louder, that would be an amplifier. I mean, that seems way too easy of a question to answer it with something like that. But, I mean, the stock stereo, to make it louder and sound better, it's easy to do. It's just a matter of adding amplifiers, processors, and better speakers after the stock stereo. That's really all there is to it. I mean, it's not not anything crazy for sure.
All right, last question before we go to the other one. I need help. I have a JL RD 900.5. It puts out 75 watts RMS to the 4 channel. Should I go with the JL C3 6.5 component that the max is 75, or should I run the Hertz MPK 6.5 that the max out is 110? I'm looking for clean, well-balanced and louder sound. They are both around 550 range.
So, alright, you got 75 watts per channel. So in order to be loud with 75 watts per channel, you have to look at the efficiency of the speaker. There'll be an efficiency rating on the speaker. What that efficiency rating is going to tell you is what it'll do with 1 watt, 1 meter. A higher efficiency rating is going to obviously do more with the 75 watts. If you had 2 speakers and one had an efficiency rating of 89 and the other one had an efficiency rating of 94, with the 75 watts, the one with 94 is going to be louder than the one with 89. Just how it's going to be. Those are both really good speakers. So I don't think that's the question we have to worry about there. It's just a matter if we're trying to get as loud as possible with the 75 watts. If the criteria is that, then go for whichever one is more efficient.
Right.
What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Bobby.
Why are some speakers rated at 2 ohm, but the majority are rated 4? 4 is the industry standard. 4 is what most speakers are, and that's what they've always been. Some manufacturers are trying to come out with that lower impedance speaker, like a 2 ohm or the 3.4 ohm, because you can get more out of less. So, for example, that 75 watt amplifier. If we were to put some 2 ohm speakers on that instead of some 4 ohm speakers, if the amplifier is capable of handling and still sounding good at 2 ohm, by putting the 2 ohm speakers on it, he'd get more power. He might get 110 watts. However, as we talked about last week when we were talking about ohm loads and speakers and stuff like that on the last week's fundamentals, sometimes amplifiers don't perform as well at 2 ohm. That is why they've gone to that 3.4 ohm. They're like, hey, you put the 3.4 ohm speaker, it's louder. What they found is like deck power and stuff like that. That amplifier can't handle that. It actually sounds much, much worse than if you were just gone with a 4 ohm speaker. The other thing too, so it's just they're trying to game the system, so to speak. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just one of those, as in car audio. It's all the circle of life. It all has to fit together properly. If you just buy things that don't work together, then you end up with garbage and you spend a lot of money.
All right, hi Mom.
Froze in the house.
What's up?
I'm sorry. Hi-Fi Vega's in the house. Froze in the house and Hi-Fi Vega. Vega's in the house.
And Mom.
All right, we're at
20 minutes.
We're at 20 minutes. That means hold your questions for the next couple minutes, guys. Just everyone take a breather. It's time for Fundamentals of Car Audio, brought to you by DNF Tool Drawer, the place you can find all your cool tools. Well, we have a great fundamentals for you this week. And it would probably have helped if I had loaded it in before we started the show, but I didn't.
Oh, right.
I know that would have made
just
sense.
Little things.
Little things. Let's go here. Let's go here. All right, let's go to the laptop. And today's fundamental is how to use a digital multimeter for 12 volt part 1.
I like the chocolate thing.
I know. I was hungry last night when I was making it. So this is going to be a multi-part series, at least a minimum of 3. We're going to break this down into DC, AC, and continuity. The first one up, however, is DC. There are a few actions we use digital multimeters for in car audio. First, DC volts. The little icon there on the left, is direct current symbol. So when you have your digital multimeter with the line with the dashes underneath it, which I know if you've watched the video, you've heard me say, that is going to be DC voltage. In DC, current, both positive and negative, are both of equal importance. Most people feel the power is somehow more important. Very false. DC voltage is a circle starting at the positive and ending at the negative. This is the most important point that you guys have to beat into your heads. It is a circle. Start, end. If this end negative sucks, it all sucks. Doesn't matter. Okay? Sound like Nick. Okay? DC volts. Example 1. Testing voltage at an amplifier, connect both positive and negative lead power to the amp. So what you see in the picture here is us testing to see what kind of voltage we're getting at the amplifier. We just go to the set screws on the amp. Oh no, we only have 8.4 volts. What could possibly be the problem? Moving to example 2. If the voltage is off, connect the positive lead to the amplifier and find a different ground point. This is for testing for a bad ground. So as you can see in the image there, we have our positive test lead going to the positive wire, and we found a piece of metal that we can test in the car. And boom, we have 13.5 volts. This is telling us that somewhere there is a bad ground where our, basically our amplifier ground is not in a good spot. It could be something as simple as, let's say, a loose connector, or we forgot to sand the paint away, or we used an improper wire, or something along those lines. But basically the problem is not our 12 volts. Connecting the positive lead to the battery and the negative to the amplifier will test for positive. That means doing the opposite of what we're doing here. So if we were to take a piece of wire, attach it to the end of our positive lead, stretch that out to our battery, and check our ground, then we could find out, oh no, that's the problem. We have a bad power lead. That's going to take us to the battery. Example 3. Checking battery voltage. Check at the post and also engine bay ground points. So as you see here, we have the positive test lead on the positive and the negative test lead on the negative. And all is well. However, that could be great. That's just the battery. What we also want to do is take that negative test lead and move that over to the factory ground point somewhere in the vehicle to make sure that it stays the same. That way we could have might not be our amplifier's ground, it could be the car's ground is bad. It could be a bad ring terminal where corrosion got in, water leaked in, and it started to eat up the copper inside. Or it's just loose. Or the factory did a crappy job at grounding the engine. Wouldn't be the first time. So testing it at the battery and then also moving it over and testing at the ground point is great. Now, if you have wonderful voltage there, but you still have crappy at the amplifier, example 4, checking voltage after fuse holder. This is one that a lot of guys forget to do. They just assume if the battery voltage is good, then it's going to be good between there. But a lot of the times, the fuse holders can be bad, or the fuse itself. There's a lot of cheap fuses out there that the connection points suck on. Leave the ground lead in place on the negative post. Put positive test lead after fuse holder. This will show a bad fuse or a loose wire. This is also a real common test that you do on CCA wire. When you're, it's like, oh my gosh, why doesn't my CCA wire work anymore? Oh, well, because it's corroded inside the ring terminal. So, great test to do there.
Yeah.
Example 5, checking for accessory power, negative lead to ground, positive lead to fuse. Turnkey on and off. So we have a fuse box here. The other symbol that you see underneath the negative ground probe is the symbol for ground in a drawing, as it were, a schematic. So we'll just take that to one of the factory ground bolts, let's say in the kick panel, and on the top of a fuse, if you can see all those little fuses, there's little silver or little like white dots. Those are so that you can test the fuse. You can take your probe and you don't have to pull the fuse out or anything like that. You can literally stick your probe into the top of the fuse, that's why it's there, and you can check to see if you have positive, or negative, whichever one you're looking for. Make sure that it turns on and off with the car. This also works for reverse lights and testing for remote turn on. On the amplifier, you can do the same exact thing that you see here. Put it in the remote turn on. Make sure that the remote turn on is getting the proper voltage and that your amplifier is not going to shut off. And that, my friends, is part 1. Yay. Testing DC voltage with your digital multimeter. Stay tuned for next week. Part 2, we'll talk about AC voltage. That's right, AC voltage in a car.
I like the pictures that you put. That's pretty cool.
I try.
Yeah. All right. Thoughts on the Kicker Factory box, the single L7R, ported, running a D5 1300 in the new Accord. What do you think?
I love their factory boxes.
Okay.
I think they all sound wonderful.
Also, what are you putting in that Accord?
I mean, obviously we'll talk about it tomorrow, but since you guys are all here and we're here, this is getting so this has the factory premium audio system built into it. And of course, he didn't want to lose his CarPlay and the whole Bluetooth thing, so we're not going to do the Metro piece. But what we're doing is I don't want to grab it. We're doing a 5-channel amp that's going to power the front stage. The front stage is going to be a set of Maximus Morels. So channel 1 and 2 will be on tweeters, channel 3 and 4 will be on the mid bass, and then the subwoofer will be on channel 5. He's getting 2 P210s and a Honda Accord sealed box in the back with grills. We're using the new Alpine PXE 0850X DSP. That's their 12-channel DSP with 8 channels of power. The 8 channels of power are going to power the factory center channel because we need to retain that for chime, Bluetooth phone calls, and navigation. Actually, I don't think it's for chime. I just think it's for Bluetooth phone calls and navigation. As well as 4 of the channels are going to be powering the coaxials that are going in the rear that we're going to wire up bi-amped. Those are going to be the Maximus 6.5 Mark IIs. So it'll be a full active, just like it is now. The reason why we chose that DSP is because it has 6 discrete inputs, 12 outputs, and it has, or 10 output, it has a lot of outputs, and it has 8 channels of amplification built into it. So this allows us to amplify the channels we need to, as well as provide outputs to go off to our amplifier. So it's pretty cool. How exciting.
All right. How well does the time alignment fix the separation between the mid and lower door on the tweeter and the dash? I tried that setup in my old Blazer, but ended up moving the tweeter to the door closer to the mid because the sound was weird with the tweeters in the dash.
Okay. I mean, the reality is I feel it does an excellent job of moving the sound up high in the dash, which is the elevation I'm trying to get it to. That doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody, but I mean, it works for us. I mean, there's plenty of times where we put, where the factory speakers down here, the tweeters are going up in the dash because that's where everyone puts them now. It also depends too on the tweeters that you have. If you have a set of tweeters that aren't capable of competing with the mid-range or are overpowering, so they have to match up pretty well.
Yeah,
that's all we got there. Plus, you got to make sure you get the crossover points right.
Best 3.5 coaxial speaker with a clean, crisp sound to replace the factory speakers in a 2016 Dodge with the Alpine system. I research a lot and can't decide. Please help me.
I mean, if we're looking for something to just replace those, and that's all we're going to do, obviously, any 3.5 is going to fit the bill. The problem you may run into, because it is the Alpine system, a lot of these aftermarket 3.5s, if that's all you're going to do is replace those 3.5s, you might not have the results you like. I would pop one of those out to see if it is the 2 ohm 3.5, because some of those are 2 ohm 3.5s, and if they are, if you just put a 4 ohm 3.5 in there, you're going to be very disappointed. That's probably run into in the new JLs and the Gladiators when there is the Alpine system. We can't just do the Kenwood C3 upgrade that we normally do because it just doesn't sound good. It actually sounds worse than the factory. If you're looking to replace all the speakers and do like the bad bitch on the block upgrade, then you want to check out the Illusion 6.5. I'm sorry, the Illusion 3.5. Those are the baddest 3.5s on the market. They're also the most expensive 3.5s on the market. So that's where I got there.
Alright, I want to get a Kenwood Excellence that they are made for my Chrysler. My kicker amplifier is rated for 75, I'm gonna say watts, and I think they are significantly more, the speakers.
Yeah.
Did they still sound okay?
Yeah. Okay. This is a question we get either on subwoofers or speakers. And it's like, if I have 75 watts and my speaker handles 300 million watts, is it still going to sound okay? The answer to that is yes. And there's a really simple experiment that you can do in your life to figure out what I'm talking about, okay? The amplifier, when you turn it on, any amplifier, doesn't matter which one, unless it's a Class A amplifier, but it's still going to have a volume knob in it. When you get into your car today, or if you're in it now, and you're listening to this, you're not listening to it like this! You're listening to it at a normal listening level, all right? A speaker is designed to handle between nothing and whatever you play it up to, all right? Which is however many watts you want to feed it before, all right? If I have a 75 watt amplifier and I have a 2 million watt speaker, all right, that speaker doesn't care that you only have 75 watts. All it's going to do is give you 75 watts of sound. Now, if it's got a magnet the size of a spaceship and it's this deep and it's got a surround like a bicycle tire, well, you might not have the success that you were hoping for because the speaker isn't going to move that well because you only put 75 watts to it. However, when you're talking about a mid and high, little tiny mid-range, little tiny tweeter, they don't take a ton of power. Most of them that are rated for 250, 300 watts don't ever expect you to put 250, 300 watts on it. Let's look at the current 4-channel lineup out there, guys. Most 4-channel amplifiers are 75 watts by 4. Why? Because that's what speakers like. That's what speakers will handle. There are the few, the good ones, Audio Control, for example, our sponsor, that will put out 110, 120 watts. All right, and when you put that on a set of speakers, you know what you get? You get really loud speakers. Where you get kind of like, is that if I'm only putting 75 watts to a speaker, how loud will it play? That's the question you need to be asking, not will it handle it? Because of course it's going to handle it. You're not getting in and playing it balls to the wall. You might with 75 watts. But my point is, if you have an amplifier that puts out 75 watts, and you have that amplifier dialed in properly, meaning you have the gain set right, you have the crossover set right, the sound you're going to get out of it is going to be 75 watts on whatever speaker that is. Can you still blow that speaker? Of course you can blow that speaker, because my guess is you're probably not going to set up the amplifier properly, because you're going to get in there and you're going to be like, it's not enough. That's the problem. It's that it's not enough that blows the speakers. The amplifier will only put out 75 watts. That's it. That's all it'll ever do. And the speaker will only react to whatever you feed it. So it doesn't matter what the power rating is. It's just how loud do you want it. All right? So if you say to me, hey, I have a 75 watt amp. I want to get in the car and it just yeah, I want to be like, you didn't get enough power. If you have a 75 watt amp and you're like, I just want it to sound good, what kind of speakers should I get? Get anything you want. They're all going to sound great. But if you're looking for volume, there's only one way to get it. Power. So stop asking the same damn questions.
Hey, Dean.
Yes.
I'm going to use an iPad as a main source, right?
Yes.
Will the LC1i will be good high level to low level to my 4-channel amplifier and piggyback to my Pioneer mono amplifier?
No. You're using an iPad?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you need an LC7i? LC7i is a high level to low level adapter. Your iPad is a low level output. You need a DSP, not an LC7i.
LC1i.
No, that'd be bad. Okay,
exactly.
Sorry, LC1i would be bad. No, because it's
Still,
a high level to low level adapter. If you want something like an LC1i, get the DQ-DX. Look into the DQ-DX. The DQ-DX is what you're looking for. It's basically the same as an LC1i. It has line level input though, and it'll work wonderfully with your iPad. So get a DQ-DX. Maybe get a DSR1 would also work really well. DSR1 would be fun. Actually, DSR1 would be really cool because you could actually use the iPad to set up the DSR1.
And you can control it in your iPad.
Well, it'd be tough though because I don't think you can play song. We've never done that.
What?
Play like a song off of the. Yeah, I don't think you could do that. That'd be weird. But either way, DQ-DX is the animal you're looking for. Yep, it's right there. Hold on. And then Fernando, nice enough to pull it up for us. So let's go head over there. This is the DQ-DX. As you can see, it looks just very similar to LC. It is more expensive. It's about $100 more than the LC1i, but it has all the same features as the LC1i. But it has those RC inputs, which is what you're looking for. So get the DQ-DX. I think I could say DQ-DX one more time.
What's up, Mark?
DQ-DX is what Soundman used in his iPad kits. There you go. DQ-DX all the way.
Yep. You know, you just scream, and I'm just wondering who was using the headphones.
I'm sorry.
You just like, whoa.
Go big and you can ding down, but if you go small, you have to gain up. That's, I think, how Bobby lives his life. I'm going to tell you right now. That's how Bobby lives his life. You can always turn me down, baby. You can't turn me up. Would you use high-level input instead of low-level to DSP if the radio doesn't clip even at max volume? No, they're two totally different things. Remember, low-level and high-level, though, are looking at the signal input. It's the difference between balanced and non-balanced is more the term we don't use because it doesn't make sense in our world. But no, it's not. High-level is high-level for a specific reason. Low-level is low-level. Low-level is unbalanced. High-level is balanced. So that's more the separation between those two, not so much the gain. It's just we don't talk about balance and unbalanced because people start to think it's like studio stuff, and it's not, because then you run into like no, we don't have any of that cool stuff. But that's really where the difference comes in.
Okay. Hey guys, I want to do a 3-way active front stage and 2-way active rear stage. How many amplifiers will I need? Oh, will we need it?
It just depends. I mean, it's not how many amplifiers you need, it's how many channels do you need. So don't think of it so much as amplifiers, think of it as channels to do this. So what you okay, so you want to do a three-way set up front, that's 6 channels. You want to do a 2-way set in the rear, that's 4 channels. And I'm assuming you want a subwoofer, so that's 1 channel. 11. So that's 6, 4, and 1. That's 11 channels of sound. So what you need to look for is 11 channels of sound. How are you going to get to that? It's entirely up to you. They make 6 channels, they make 8 channels, they make 4 channels, so it's a combination of all of those that's
12 channels.
That's going to add you up to basically 12 channels. Now, the fun part is, like a 12-channel DSP is really what you're going to need if you're planning on DSPing it. So, I think the most affordable 12-channel DSP is the Alpine PXE 0850X. Is going to be the most affordable in that category. Otherwise, you're going to have to go up. Now, if you want one amplifier to do everything, there is such an animal. Helix makes a couple, like they make a 12-channel amp.
Baby 12.
So there are some amplifiers that will do it. It just depends on how much, there again, how loud do you want it? Because something like a 12-channel amplifier, it's not a lot of power. It's like 35 and 50 and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But there again, you have 10 speakers in the car. You don't necessarily need them all playing at 120 watts. Sup, Dean and Nano, sorry I've been a ghost. Been battling a bad case of COVID. Oh, Chris, sorry to hear that, man. It's a shame you live in Florida. I mean,
hopefully you get better.
Yeah,
soon.
God, it sucks. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Got an opportunity to swing by Sounds Good Stereo, just north of Nashville. Yeah, I got A1 service, and my tune sounds perfect. 3 hours and many tools later, but I'm happy.
Awesome.
Those guys are awesome over there. That's Sage. Sage works for Orca. So he's one of the team. He works there with Nick and all that fun stuff. Although Nick lives in Texas, they're all on the same team.
Yep.
But no, the Sound Good guys, they do great work.
Sage
and they have
good.
a nice YouTube channel too.
Yeah.
You know, if you're into that kind of thing.
Soundstage. Sounds good. Sorry.
Helix Ultra DSP. Yep, there you go. But 12 channels, lots of fun.
I just got a Helix M4 DSP after watching you show about the last time. I think it's one of the best budget DSP amp. Yeah, nice.
It's not bad. It's definitely a nice little DSP amp. I like it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, late, but I made it. Thank God,
Hey,
Brian.
there you go. You're here. I have a 2003 Suburban 1500, and I just put a second battery hold down on the passenger side.
Yeah.
From a 2500 Suburban. Is there a firewall grommet on the passenger side I can use to run my power wire through?
You know, even when we were doing those, I think I always still went through on the driver's side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I mean, we used to do those a lot back in 2003, 2004. That was a really common upgrade. But I still think, because what I would do is I'd put the battery there and I'd run all my connections over, but I'd add my relay and my fuse holder and all that across the firewall on the front of the car, and so that I'd bring my wire over to that side and everything would just come through that way.
I think in the passenger side is the AC.
Yeah, I didn't want to deal with the air conditioner and having to go low. But if you're really set on coming up the passenger side, the easiest thing to do on the passenger side is look for where your AC drip valve is. That's the cool thing that puts the puddle underneath your car. It's going to be low on the dash. To get to it in a GM, you do have to remove the whole bottom air conditioning assembly cover. Look for that, and somewhere around there, you know, once you're looking on the other side, is going to be where you're going to come in. I don't like going down that low because that gets me really close to the manifold. You know, muffler stuff, and there's heat down there. I like just coming across the top and coming in where the factory grommet is.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought. What is that worth? Left Meridian Steak, when can you do a video on Rockford Fosgate T4, T3 components, debating on those for my SQ build? Man, if you could still find T4s and T3 components, great. But, you know, the likelihood of us getting our hands on them is pretty thin.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you never know.
No,
Maybe
you never know.
One day we have a video on that. Maybe.
I mean, there's a chance.
It's always a chance.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking putting caps on the tweeters. It's a safe thing to do. Even
if
it's against.
I've heard that adding caps to tweeters hooked up to audio control amps causes distortion. Have you ever encountered this problem? Well, the answer to that would be no. We've never encountered the problem because we've never put the caps on. That's the way it goes. But
did I hear that somebody, the people does that? Yeah.
Here's the thing to consider. All right, what we have done plenty of on audio control amplifiers is passive systems. Passive systems are nothing more than caps and coils. So there's no difference between us taking a set of speakers that uses a cap and a coil and a cap and a coil, or a cap and a cap and a coil, and we don't get any distortion there. So that statement doesn't make any sense. Common sense wise, that No, that's not going to be true. So if you want to do that, by all means, don't let me stop you. You can do it. It'll work fine, and it will not add any distortion to the capacitor at all. Or to the speaker at all. You'll be fine. It's not going to hurt anything. See, once you think of things rationally and put it in perspective, it's like, no, how would that be even possible? It's not. You can't do it. So
Trinidad in the house. I have an F-150 and an audio control 6-channel amplifier. I'm using the 5th and 6th for sub. I have 1 4 ohm and an amplifier. Can use a 2. What route will be better?
Wait a minute. I have 4 ohm and the amp can use 2.
2 ohm load.
Okay. So that's funny. See, this is what I want to make that. All right. So it sounds like the question is you have a D6 1200, you bridge 5 and 6 to 4 ohm, which is the exact same ohm load, as 2 subs at 2 ohm. So you have 2 ohm stereo, 4 ohm mono is the exact same amount of power. What you'd be gaining is no more power. It's the exact same amount of power. You'd be gaining cone area. So if like you're wanting a little bit more bass, and by I mean a little bit more bass, you could add the second driver, add 2 new drivers, and you'd have more cone area producing the same amount of power. So you get a little bit more sound out of it. Is really what it comes down to. If I might make a suggestion, as opposed to doing that, since you have an F-150, is take the D6 1200 and put it active on the system. So you have an F-150, put 1 and 2 on the tweeters, 3 and 4 on the front mid bass, 5 and 6 on the rear door, pick up an LC 1.800 and put it on 2 subs, and then you get 800 watts, you get a ton of bass, life is wonderful. That's another thought.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. You can do it! Dean, do you think you could ever do a demo video on how to use remote on a DQ61 for the delay feature? Yes, we probably could. Will we ever do it? Probably not. I know we could do it. Here's the trick. You need to play a polarity check. You need to play speaker pop. You need to play. In the old audio control app that you could buy or you could download to your device, like an iPad or something like that, there was a back page of it that says set up for DQ61. Nobody understood how to use it. No one knew I was there. Even when I talked to the guys at audio control, I was like, why is this here? And they're like, I don't know. So whoever the engineer was that decided to put it in there, he was a genius, but then he didn't explain to anybody how to use it. The idea behind that pop, okay, is for checking left and right. Now, if you're an iPhone user, you can and use iTunes. The Sheffield Labs My Disc, it's really easy, has this polarity pop track on it that we use. And what it's designed to do is it just does that popping noise. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to get in the car, you're going to shut the doors, playing that pop track. What you're doing is you're going to turn that 1 click. And as you're turning it 1 click, the gain knob, once it's in program mode, it's going to move that speaker out. You're going to keep moving that speaker out until that pop track sounds like it's popping out of the center of your dash. Once it's popping out of the center of the dash, you're done. You can do the same thing with the subwoofer. Once it sounds like the subwoofer is coming out of the front of the car, you're done.
All right. I have a 2011 Cadillac CTS4. The car comes with a 2-gauge charging wire for the alternator. I would like to add a second battery. Should I do a big 3, or is this factory wire enough? I'm running a 5-channel 200 times 5 and 1700 times 1. It's 2-gauge. It's a lot of power.
Brian, so here's the problem, man. It's a Cadillac. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, the battery's in the trunk, the alternator's under the hood. I mean, that's basically the same system as the Camaro. I mean, the reality is, you're not, okay, so forget the big 3 upgrade and all that nonsense. Put that out of your head. It's not going to do anything. The alternator, you're not changing it. You're not putting a bigger alternator in it. It's going to be the same size alternator that's running, and that power wire is going to move from the back to the front. There's a fuse underneath the hood. It's going to come back to the back battery. All we're doing by adding this battery in is increasing the capacitance or storage capability of the current battery that's in there. We're not changing anything. We're not putting more power. There's not going to be any more power. Even if you did a big 3 upgrade, you still got a 110 amp alternator. It's always going to be a 110 amp alternator. Nothing is going to change that, especially just by, you know, putting a big fat wire in there. It's not going to do anything. So the question is, can I just put a battery in the trunk, connect it to the rear battery, and go? Yes. Yes, you can. Just make sure you fuse it properly. Fuse at both batteries. I would definitely recommend, you know, if it's a big battery, like I said, a relay. If they're both going to be sitting in that spare tire well, don't worry about it. But yeah, you'll be fine.
All right, 2011 4H, the one that needs the Maestro dash kit.
Yeah.
MFT1. And the RR. Can I program it to a non-Maestro radio? Customers already has a cheap radio.
No. No, you can't. Okay, so the reason why you have to use the MFT1 kit with the Maestro is for the air conditioner. In order to retain the air conditioner, you have to have an RR compatible radio. Otherwise, you have to just use the metric kit. So if he's got a cheap radio, he's out of luck on this one. If it was any other situation, the RR can be used as a standalone, just like an amp, you know, like a regular pack
Harness.
amp pro. I'm sorry, not amp pro, but harness.
Regular harness.
Regular harness, so like a
Regular
GM31
module,
or
yeah.
a regular old module. It can do that. It doesn't always have to do gauges and stuff like that. But in the sense of it's having to retain air conditioning controls, you have to have a radio that is RR compatible. So if they've got a cheap radio, then you got to buy that metric kit, and it's because you need that external screen. So it might be cheaper for them just to buy a new radio than to buy that kit. That's for sure. That's the nice thing about the MFT1 kit is that it's cheap compared to the metric kit. You just have to get the right one.
All right, Dean, advice
Yeah.
on a key amplifier spot on. Now, I'm buying the Morel 3-way Maximo, right? The 3-way Maximo, or build a 3-way from the Maximus and the 3.5 Midler.
No, just buy the set. It's all balanced. It all works together. Just buy the set. You're way better off. It's a fabulous sounding set. I would hate to mix and match those. I don't think you'll get the joy. Let them do the work. Don't overthink these things. Is there an actual trick in timeline to try to have your subs sound more like it's a front-mounted subwoofer? Yeah, get the delay right. I mean, there's no real trick. Okay, I think we talked about this Saturday. We did talk about this in depth on Saturday, but the problem is volume. You have to pick a fixed volume, just like your speakers are a fixed volume. If you have a volume control for your subwoofer, you set the time alignment and the volume and get everything aligned to the front. But as soon as you do this on the volume knob, it's off. So you have to decide what's more important, and or you have to put a permanent mark, like let's say 12 o'clock, and then your sub sounds like coming from the up front. But that's really it. And there again, that same polarity pop thing that I just mentioned will allow you to figure out if the sub is coming from up front or if it's coming from the back.
Do you know if the new Arc Audio Shallow outperformed the older Shallow they make?
Yes. Oh no.
Despite
the more expensive one?
I guess.
No.
Despite the new one having a lower price, how many did Brian have in the round? How many they have?
He had two.
Two?
Yeah, he had a set. And it was fabulous. I mean, there again, Arc Audio is a car audio manufacturer with a bunch of die-hard car audio guys. And they're not going to come out with a product that, you know, sucks. And it was amazing. It sounded fabulous. I was very impressed with it. Definitely adding it to my list of shallow subwoofers to check out in that price point, you know. Man, autocorrect sucks. That's okay. We're used to it. Jason, you have a wonderful night.
Yeah.
It's getting close, so let's do a couple more, and then some guys look tired from a long day. It's just been a long couple whatevers. Can we order laser pieces from your installs? No, not yet.
2025, man. 2025.
We're hoping for 2023.
I have a Nissan Titan with the Midler, as Dean will say, in the dash. I want to upgrade them. Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to upgrade them and add the tweeter to make it three-way. What set do you recommend? Or buying that will replace the dash and not the tweeter in the door. So basically the same thing. Like
A three-way set?
what three-way set?
Our most popular three-way set, hands down, has to be the Focal Flax three-way set. It's a small enough driver. It fits in most vehicles. With that being said, though, we also sell a decent amount of Virtus, which is the Morel three-way set. So basically, we sell a ton. You know it, Jeff. You know it.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
He knows it better than us. Anyways, the Focal Flax series is definitely very popular. Like I said, the Virtus, both carbon nanos as well as the regular line Virtus. I mean, get the carbon nanos, just laugh the whole time you're putting them in that you don't have to worry about a magnet. And then, of course, the Maximo set we were talking about, hands down, has to be the most affordable, awesome sounding set of three-ways you're going to find. That's that as far as that goes. But there are plenty of three-way sets out there. Sony also makes a very affordable three-way set that sounds really good. The GS series, I always forget about those. But there's a lot of them. Hey, Dean, idea for a t-shirt. I know Dean and Fernando. Oh. That's not a bad shirt. I never think of that. You know, I always think about other things, but that's not a bad one. All right, guys, let's turn this off here. Let's head over to this page I like to call our "How do we pay the bills around here?" That's right, Dean and Fernando's tool drawer. If you guys are interested in finding the cool tools that we use in all our installations, you can head over to Dean and Fernando's tool drawer. When you shop here, you click on a link, it takes you over to Amazon. Every time you do that, whether you're buying the product or not, it helps the show. So, like, if your wife is like, "Hey, honey, go pick up some toilet paper," and you buy them off Amazon, go to Dean and Fernando's tool drawer first, pick something, and once you get there, we'll get points, pennies, for you buying toilet paper. It's a cool feature. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And speaking of shirts, if you'd like to pick up a shirt wearing the 5-Star Classic tee that Fernando has been rocking a lot lately, except for today. Not today. Head over to dnfswag.com. Here you can find all the cool 5-star stuff. You know, I don't even think I have like this the basic shirt like this one. I don't think we ever bought those.
No?
No, I don't think we ever got that.
What is that? A shirt?
It's a baby.
That's a onesie.
That's a onesie for a baby. I know, it's okay. It's a onesie for a baby. But anyways,
I'm gonna buy one.
not. Let me do one more thing here. So for those of you guys that don't know, this Saturday, the 21st at 6 p.m., we'll have Seth Hostetter on. And then next Friday, the 27th, is it? Oh my God, it's pouring again. The 27th, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central, we'll be live from Knowledge Fest with Electromedia.
These guys, that's
Order me work shirts.
Stuart.
Oh, she's just having fun. What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies! And we're going to end it right there, guys. Thank you for making me laugh. That goes a long way. You guys have a great week, and if you don't, try really hard. If you'd like to know more about what's happening in this Honda, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 Minutes to 5-Star on 5-Star's Instagram page. That's the number 5 Star Car Stereo. You can find us there. It's where we update you what's happening in the Bay. And, of course, we'll see you Saturday. I'll see you Saturday. We won't be seeing him. My guess is he'll be wearing a poncho and then stands watching the game. Make sure you bring a poncho.
I'm going to.
Because you're going to get wet. You guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you back here Saturday. Bye, guys.
Tomorrow. Bye, guys.
All right. Fade to black.